咁解嘅啫。
好啊，好啊，冇問題。Kitson 而家係咪 OK 㗎啦？咁你嗰邊？
哦，係已經錄緊㗎啦。
錄緊嘅啊，
係
好好，唔
冇錯冇錯。
該晒 ，thank you，thank you。好嘅，咁嘅話咧，我哋就係咯，可以 admit 啲 audience，咁就可以開始啦。OK，thank you。Hello, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues. Welcome to our special seminar co-organized by SCE, TLCC, and GEO, titled Succeeding in Course-Based Service Learning Through Innovative Design and Implementation. I am Francesca from Early Childhood and Elementary Education Division of SCE, and I'm honored to be your moderator for today's event. We're delighted to have you join us online, and we hope that the seminar will provide a valuable opportunity for educators interested in incorporating service learning into university courses to learn from experienced practitioners and to share ideas. Before we begin, please allow me to provide a brief overview of today's seminar. Our seminar today aims to explore the design, implementation, and challenges of integrating service learning into university courses. We are privileged to have 5 esteemed speakers from 3 GE capstone service learning courses offered to self-financed and UGC-funded undergraduate students. They will generously share their experience and strategies used in designing and implementing innovative service learning projects in their GE capstone courses, aiming to engage students in real-world issues and fostering students' civic responsibility. As we embark on this journey, we encourage you to take notes, ask questions, and engage in discussions with our speakers. Let us make the most of this opportunity to learn, share, and grow together. Without further ado, let us begin our seminar. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to our first speaker, Dr. Daniel Kong. Dr. Kong is a lecturer in the Department of History with an impressive research focus on the history of lineage in South China, festival and popular religion in Chinese societies, and Chinese social and economic history. Drawing from his experience in teaching the GE course, GCAP 3006, implementation of service learning engagement through Chinese storytelling and writing, Dr. Kong will explore the connection between historical anthropology and service learning. He will share valuable insights on how to integrate service learning into the field of history, ultimately helping us contribute better to our communities by learning from the past. May I now pass the time to Dr. Daniel Kong to share his expertise on this fascinating topic. Dr. Kong, please.
Thank you, Francesca. Let me share my PowerPoint first. Here. Okay. Can you see it?
Yes, we can see it. Yes.
Yeah, good, thanks.
Thank you.
I'm glad to have this opportunity to share my teaching experience. And my presentation is entitled as Historical Anthropology Cross-Service Learning. And let me introduce a little bit my background that can help you understand more why I do this. Okay, I'm a historian and my expertise area is historical anthropology. What is this? Simply to say, some historians thought that China is too big and Chinese culture is too broad. They should study China or Chinese culture by starting a very small specific place. And that's why they combine field study and documentary research and seek to answer a question: how do different local society acquire their specific identities at the same time as being integrated into a broader, unified culture like China. And that's also the reason why in my teaching I would like to bring my student going to field trip, but the problem is conducting a field trip is very how to say it. Okay, one of the example is like that. In my experience, I conduct a field trip to Guangzhou would cost my students up to $500 per head, which actually heavy cost for a student. So that's also the reason why I contact service learning, because I need financial support. Okay, but okay, later on, I found the common ground of them. Historical anthropology and service learning both seek to address real-life issue and contextualize it within the local community. This shaped my teaching philosophy that I'm interested in social history, not the history found in textbooks, but real day-to-day challenge the community experience. I believe we can all contribute to our community better by learning history. Now, I would like to introduce my teaching by example. A course GCAP 3006, implementation of service learning engagement through Chinese storytelling and writing. It is an interdisciplinary course which combined oral history skill and report writing skills, offered by the History Department and Language Center. The objective of this course is to train students to innovate the traditions of storytelling and listen, take down story narrowed by the older generations, preserving the culture and memories of a generation with and inheriting the wisdom and experience passed down to them. This will enable them to have a better understanding of their community and learn from the life experience of people from different backgrounds. And the core of this course is the oral history project. My community partner is Aberdeen Gaifong Association. With their help, the student interviewed 12 seniors with dementia living in Wafu Estate. Wafu Estate is a first generation estate, was built in 1967, but has been set for redevelopment. That means it's going to disappear. The first phase will be started in 2024. Yeah, we still have 1 or 2 years. Okay. As such, it's urgent for students to capture and preserve its history. And our community partner, they also found this needs. But the point is, they are social workers. They know how to take care of the senior, but they don't know how to make history. They need our help. That's the foundation of our cooperation. They also, and they need manpower, okay? They need young people because the seniors, they love to talk to young people. So in our class, all boys and girls, that's what they need. And the social worker also observe my students during the activities and recruit them after they graduate. So some of their assistants are my former students. Okay. Before the oral history project, we arranged some guest lecture on training across academics and professional field to prepare our students. One of the examples is the training workshop was provided by the social worker to teach the student skills on how to communicate with dementia seniors. Okay. And the core of the oral history project includes 3 meetings, 2 interviews, and 1 reunion. Okay, during the COVID time, students could Zoom interview, and before and after COVID time, we can meet them directly. It is important to set 2 interviews because no one no one will tell you anything when you first met each other, okay? So the first meeting is just a warm up. But in second interview, it's totally different. They are friends already, they will tell you everything, okay? And it's also important that between the first and second interview, we have debriefing sessions where students could share their challenge and the social worker could give immediate feedback. This session were effective as students improve their skills upon feedback and build confidence for the second interview. And about the reunion, I will tell you later, okay? But first, let me tell you, oh yeah, some photos. The first interview, we do the Zoom during the COVID debriefing, yes. And here, the second interview, the photo here. At the end of the course, the student produce a booklet or a multimedia output as a gift to those seniors. It costs 25% in assessment. This gift was a record of the personal history and collective memory for the seniors, and it's also part of the Wafu Chun history. And this gift allowed the seniors to awaken their self-identity. And the meaningful gift were presented to the seniors in the reunion time. I prefer talking about reunion later. Let me tell you, oh, some photo here. Let me tell you the challenge and solution. First, gatekeeper will remind my students, don't publish anything without consent from the social workers and those seniors, and without permission from course instructor. Okay, you know it's quite sensitive now. Some students ask, can we go to visit a senior by ourselves? I will say no, please don't. So please don't let them bypass you to do anything. And the gatekeeper also means the media between my student and community partner. Yes, students, they are young, they are energetic, they are creative, but some of their ideas may increase the workload for the community partner. So the gatekeeper is very important to monitor, okay? The second thing is COVID. Yes, during COVID time, we are not suggested going to field trips. It's a very it's a problem. It's not only our problem, it's also my community's partners, their problem, because they are social welfare community. They attempt to approach the senior through Zoom and invite seniors to visit their center with wearing their mask. So they also limit the number of students visit their the centers. But it's okay, we go through them. And now is everything okay, right? The next thing is, yes, financial support is very important that all students got 300, I should say thanks for General Education Office. All students got 300 pocket monies. You should know that don't visit people's house with empty hands. That's what we learned from our parents, okay? We will ask students bring some gift like a bag of rice, food or snack, and they love supermarket coupons, okay? They really need them because, especially during the COVID time. But at the beginning, the senior reject. They thought that, oh, you boys and girls are only students, please don't buy anything. After our students explained, we got support from school. Don't worry about the money. So the senior will happy to accept them. And my last point is how to make a balance. In my course, I will ask students submit booklet about personal life of the senior. Also, report that's focus more about the academic, more about the community, the big picture. And I will show you one of the report at the end of my presentation. It's a video, okay? It's a photo I took from the reunion. The outcome I got student feedback from different channels like reflective journal, consultative week, the discussion in the classroom, and reflective report, and CFQ, the course evaluation form. And I would like to highlight this feedback. It's kind of like self-reviewed from the student. The student thought that the redevelopment is not a big deal in the viewpoint of the senior. It's because the student interviewed a grandniece, she's 90 years old. She was sold out by her elder brother when she was a kid to the northern China, and sold again by her first husband. So lucky she's happy now with her second husband in Wafuchun. And the student learned that, okay, the redevelopment is not really important to the granny after she having this tough experience. So it's the student think that redevelopment is only important, that may be just the sentimental feeling from the outsider like us, okay. But maybe he's right, the student is right. And okay, the reunion, the date of the reunion I said is after exam period. Because I don't want to burden their workload, but it's risky because all day may gone, and no one listen to the course instructor after grading. Okay, but in fact they're good. Many of them they attend and meet their old friends in the reunion. In the reunion, the senior, the student, they share with each other what they got, what they learned. And they're very happy. And the booklet which our student present to the senior were very helpful, because the dementia seniors, sometimes they get lost in their Wafuchun. Therefore, and also their family member will call the social worker, ask for help. Hey, where's my parents? So the gift, like a postcard or booklet, which record their favorite place, like a cha chan tang, like a restaurant, like a park. They then let their family member know where they find them out. The social impact of the surface learning should also okay. Wait. Let me tell you something about the support from GEO. We successfully got the financial support, and then we will publish the senior story plus students reflective journal. And here's the hard copy of the publication. And we also have the soft copy from the link from the GEO website. And I recruit the students partner, and we form a committee in charge of editing, design, and printing. Okay, yeah. The social impact of surface learning should also not be underestimated. Feedback from our community partner, Aberdeen Gaifong Association, they were very positive. They are happy to organize next round. And also this project is covered by the mass media. The news report interview our students. According to the news report, is that students found the course very rewarding, as the project improved their understanding of oral history methods and skill, and enrich their knowledge of the transformation of communities. Some also found that oral history fill in the gap which affect in history textbook and preserve uniqueness, such as the video recording of Granny Lamb is one of the seniors who have her essence and spoken cultural terms captured and preserved. Yeah, it is in my conclusion that okay, this video is kind of like a reflection. And I think reflection is one important element in surface learning. And so I hope this, I think our students, they're good. And my job is provide a opportunity to let them have awaken their social awareness and sense of social responsibility of students by connecting them with people from all walks of life in their community. and build their awareness as responsible citizens. That's it. Okay, thank you very much. It's a Q&A session. Sorry about that.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kong. Okay, so let's take a very quick look at some of the questions that we received. So I see Jillian Chu is very interested in knowing more about the number of cohorts, number of students. So hi, Dr. Cook, thank you for your presentation. Does your service learning require a minimum number cohort each year, or will the course run with even one student? Because from Julian's understanding, GE capstone could be offered for individual students, not necessarily a large cohort. So may Dr. Kwok share with us, like in general, how many students would you have in your class? Is it like an elective course? Just share with us some of these information. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for your question. Every year, in the first 2 years, I have 40 students, 40, okay? And in this semester, I have 50, because I get a lot of emails ask me add the quota for them. So I have 50, but I think I cannot add more because it's difficult to handle the huge number of students. But I don't know the minimum because
because you always get the maximum
40 already. Yeah.
Yeah, because this is a very popular course, so I guess Dr. Kong didn't have to worry about the minimum.
And the second question, where can we find out more about? Okay, I think Angela is here. She is a better person to answer this question. But I just can't give you one answer. You that the support is called as a partner. PO.
Oh, hello. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so yeah, let you. Hey, Angela, please. The project as partner.
Oh, wait, sorry. I can't.
Project as
Please slow down for. Well, sorry, I can't unmute. Have
I can hear
muted
you.
myself? Hello.
Yeah, we could hear you, Angela. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Angela.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So.
That's okay.
Wait, hold on. So Daniel, can you repeat your question?
Also, where can we find out more about GE providing support fund for students?
All right. Well, actually, it actually depends on what kind of funding you're referring to. But then definitely, if you go back to our website, and maybe you can actually talk to the person in charge, the colleague in charge of your course, definitely will give you more information. But in general, we have different sources of funding. Definitely, we have the virtual teaching learning and digital teaching learning grants for course subsidies, student subsidies, the examination. It seems that my angle is not too good. So course subsidy, examination, and so on, and SAP, of course, which is a feature program. And at the same time, we also have different types of grants and funding sources to support GE teachers, GE courses to organize trips to the Greater Bay Area, including and also Taiwan, Macau, and Hong Kong, China, and so on. So there are actually different sources of funding to suit your needs.
Thank you very much, Angela. For providing a lot of information in relation to the financial support. Thank you. Yes, and I see Dr. Simon Wang from the Language Center also mentioned that he thinks the minimum is probably around 10. So thank you very much for the information. And thank you very much, Dr. Kong. So right now, let's move over to the second course. I'm delighted to introduce our second speaker for today's seminar, Dr. Janet Low. Dr. Low is an assistant professor from the Department of Journalism, Her research interests are in journalism, cultural studies, and critical studies in mass communication, and she's currently teaching several undergraduate courses, including data journalism, media communication in the AI era, and political economy for Hong Kong journalists. And today, Dr. Lo will focus on her innovative approach to incorporating service learning into her GCAP 3127 course, Media Communication in the AI Era, and share her insights on service learning in journalism. So please join me in extending a warm welcome to Dr. Janet Lo as she shares her valuable experiences and expertise. Dr. Lo, please.
Hello, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy to have this opportunity to share with you my experience to develop this course. It is the GE Capstone Store title Media Communications in the AI Era. So just from this title, you can understand that this course is all about the media communications. And I think the most difficult part for my course is also about media communication, because it covers many different parts of the studies, and it can include many different aspects. So let me introduce my course objective. The first course objective of this course is to arouse students' awareness of the role media plays in their lives and society in the age of AI and information. We all know that now in the age of AI and information, we get a lot of information from the media, no matter we are the college student or the high school student. So our course want them to teach them enhance their level of media literacy, so that once even they encounter the media message, they will not put their 100% trust in the message. They will know more about how to interpret the message and how to understand it well. And you know that now we in our daily life, we are saturated, the world is saturated with the fake news. So we will also introduce them how we can identify the fake news, or like how to protect their privacy in the social media, all this. So hopefully the second objective we can also achieve is to develop students' critical and analytical ability to deconstruct media messages and informations. And finally, is related to the sharing of this course is about how they can reflect about themselves, and then they can understand more about themselves and about the community as well. So that is what we learned. We want them to learn. Yeah. So can you see the PowerPoint clearly? Yes, right?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the service learning experience. I think the college student, our students, can grow through participations in this service learning experience. So in fact, why we in the past, this course is just normal GE course, but why we want to integrate it and develop it as the community service course, because we think through the interactions with the high school student, our student can learn more about themselves, and they can also learn more about the community as well. Because now there is always a joke saying that 3 years just like a generation gap. So when I told my students they have to develop a 30 minutes lecture to the high school student, their face tell me that they are scared of it because they found that they did not understand or know the high school very well, the student very well, because maybe they graduate, although it's just a few years ago, but they still find that they have difficulties in catching up with the media. The high school, especially the secondary 1 or 2 students what they like to consume most. So I think it's really beneficial to the student to let them to deliver lectures about the media literacy to the high school student, so that they can also experience personal growth by helping them. So in fact, as I mentioned before, I found that the most difficult part in our course is we have to deliver many different dimensions of the media study, and so that the student can understand what is the media communications in the information era. So you can imagine our course has developed into 2 different parts. The first part is we will teach them about what is the media communications. So there are many different aspects. As I mentioned just now, we will introduce about news study. We will tell them about how to identify the fake news. We will tell them what is the social media, how can they protect their privacy, how the AI or other technology will try use different tools to get their informations. And also we will also tell them a little bit about like the film studies and the advertising study as well. So you can see that in the first part of our course, we have introduced many different media concepts, media studies to them, so that they can use all those tools to understand how and to know more how to interpret the media messages. And the second half part is we will ask them to deliver and prepare how to deliver a lecture to the high school students. This part we will explain it later. So the in the first part of the lectures of the course, when we introduce them our how to study the media, we will also hope we can engage them more, and also hope that they can have an international perspective. So we have included 2 I think is a more interesting element. First is about VR. That is we introduce websites developed by me and my research partner, talking about how to use the virtual reality techniques to understand our Hong Kong society, especially the underprivileged group, that is the subdivided fat. So let me show you the video. Here, so we show them the website, and how they can present different social situations using the VR technology. So from this one, you can see that we have developed a website showing the subdivided fat. And when we enter it, you can see the situations of the underprivileged. You can see that they live in a very small crowded areas, and these their kitchens and toilets, all this. So we hope that the student can taste a sense of how to use different tools to let the others understand our role through different media tools. So this is part of it. And other parts, as I mentioned, we also want to show them, to let them have the international perspective. So that's why we have also included one online platform. We also have to thank the G office for subsidizing us to develop this platform. So we have incorporated this platform. This platform can let the student to talk to one another and have some pre-exercise and post-exercise before and after the class. So because of it, they can learn some of our course material through the online platform. That means we can save some time as well, as I mentioned, because we have to incorporate many different aspect of media communication. So we put some on online platform so that some of the exercise we did it in the class and some exercise we did it before and after the class. And as I also want to introduce some international perspective to our students. That's why this platform is not only developed by me, but also developed by our international collaborators. One is the senior lecturer, Lisa Tam from the Australia. So Dr. Tam also helped us to develop the platform like this one. You can see that like he used the KFC crisis management as an example to let the student know how the PR, how to contribute to the crisis management as well. So you can see that we try to incorporate many different elements into our course so that the student find the course quite interesting and more engaging as well. And as I mentioned, because we also want to limit the time we spend in our course because we have many different course material want to share with them. So we put some course material online, and at the same time, we also ask like the international collaborator to put their course material online so that we can have some interactions as well. So so this is the first half part of my course, and the second half is about the second half, as I mentioned, is about the surface learning activities. So what the student has to do is after they learn the course materials from my class, so they have to choose a topic and deliver a talk to a group of high school students. So what I did is I collect with one high school's teachers and ask her to let me to let the our student to enter to get into the school, and each group has to deliver half an hour lectures to one class. Okay, so that means around 4 to 5 students, they have to decide a topic and then get some material and then deliver a course to the high school student. And then, in fact, we have also encountered some challenges as well. So as I mentioned, because when they deliver the course, we found that on one hand, we have to ask them to spend quite a lot of time for preparations, because when we deliver a course to the high school student, we have to be very careful. On one hand, we know that they are still very young, they are vulnerable. That means when we deliver a course, some course material maybe can be delivered to the college student. They think is fine, but to the high school student, the standards should be a little bit much higher. I mean, like the poster or all these video, we have to, once when they finish the PowerPoint, not only me have to have a look on the PowerPoint, but we have to ensure that the PowerPoint or the materials are acceptable for the high school students and the teachers as well. So although sometimes and other important things is we have to engage the student. For the high school student, I think it's also quite difficult for the college student as well. Although they have rich experience in develop or deliver the presentations in the class, but once they get to the high school, they find it very difficult to engage them because they don't have that experience. So technically, when we discuss with them, we also have to talk and teach them some skills, how to engage the high school student as well. And the third point is because as I mentioned, they also found that they have generation gap between them and the high school students. So what I did is I invite some high school students for them to interview before they deliver the lecture, so that they can understand more about their current habit, their current media consumptions behavior before they deliver the course. So I think it's also quite important. And once most challenging and difficulties we encounter is the COVID-19. So first, it's very difficult to find the community partner for us to get into the school. And second, even we have a lot of challenges for certain changes of the arrangement. For example, at the beginning, we want to deliver a course to the just S1, S2 student, and then they say, oh, they are not available because of the COVID-19 arrangement, and then we have to deliver the course to another form of student. And also, at the beginning, we hope we can deliver the course in person. However, because of COVID-19, and then we have to switch to online to deliver the course. So there are some problems, but how we solve it out is, I think planning is very important, as I mentioned, because I think planning include and preparations, not only the physical preparations, but also psychological preparation is very important, because before we ask the students to deliver a course lecture to the high school student, we already told them we may have other arrangements because of COVID-19 or pandemic. So hope that they can well prepare of it. And no matter we deliver it online or in presence, they are still fine with it. And then I think because of this psychological preparations, they will also see this as a teachable moments for them to grow, rather than they will feel disappointed because they cannot deliver a course in presence. And on the other hand, as I mentioned, because you can see that we have a lot of put quite a lot of material online, so that we can also save some time in our course, so that they can, I think they can at least understand or grab all the knowledge I think they should have known in our course, and then they still can have enough time to prepare the materials for the surface learning part. So So that's all what I want to share. So so let's see. Is there any questions?
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Low. And yes, I noticed that in the chat box, Jillian has another question for you. So since you have also mentioned in your presentation that it was difficult to find a high school to work with, especially during COVID. So may we know more about that? So how did you find the secondary school for your students to deliver lectures? Like, is there a specific school that you have always been working with? So could you please share with us?
I think I'm quite lucky because before I try to develop this course, I already have some collections with some high school. Because I do some community service there, so I contact them. Sometimes they will invite me to deliver a course there, and or give them some advice about the teaching. So that's why to me it's not very difficult to ask them to give me a chance to let the student get into the school. But I think the most difficult part is we have to tell them, we have to ensure them our students are good enough to deliver a course lecture to the high school student, because some teachers may not well understand the standards of our students, and they are not they did not know it very well. So to let them to have confidence to our school and our and our students, we will let them to first know what I taught them, and second, I will let them know what they are going to teach before the course really delivered.
Mm. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Low. So, following up with what you have just mentioned, indeed, it's understandable that sometimes schools and the teachers in the high schools might worry a little bit about, the presentations, especially given the changing social and political environments in Hong Kong. So, we have another question from one of our participants. So, Benjamin is wondering if the secondary school impose some kind of censorship to the teaching materials? And if they do, how did you negotiate with the school on that?
I think indeed I have to honest, they have some censorship, but I think the censorship is understandable and also is reasonable. First, let me show you one of the PowerPoints about the course material delivered by my students. In fact, it is about the privacy. So when they introduce the internet privacy and the internet bullying, online bullying, they may have introduced some not very appropriate pictures. So that means the pictures are with more violence and include more like sexual elements. So although maybe the boundaries for the college student is not the same as the high school teacher, you can understand, right? So so I think so they just ask us like can we not please don't use that kind of pictures. I think that is a very reasonable request. And so when or when they want to show them some video, we will also let them to watch it before. And some of the video, although it's not really a big problem, some jokes is not, but maybe to the high school teachers, they still find it are not very appropriate, like the joke they use. So I think the student also understand the situation. And so I think it is a kind of communication more. So hopefully we can come out one mutual understanding and have a good communication, so that so finally I forget to tell all of you about the results and the reflections. And first, the student found that in fact it is very fruitful and rewarding to have that experience, because sometimes they found that maybe some course material to them is easy to understand, but maybe to the high school student is too difficult. So it is a kind of a personal goal to adjust their material. And to the teacher and the high school student, they also find it very interesting and is a very rewarding experience to have some big brothers and sisters to come to the school to deliver the course and allow them to understand the media role more.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Low. Indeed, when it comes to university students and high school students, a difference in age as well as in their prior knowledge and skills that they have already acquired would be quite different. So a lot of communication would be needed, between different stakeholders. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Low. And then right now, last but not least, it is my pleasure to introduce the final group of speakers, Dr. Amanda Wu, Mr. James Lee, and Ms. Wendy Hong. Dr. Wu, Mr. Lee, and Ms. Hong are all academic staff members in the Early Childhood and Elementary Education Division with extensive experience in the field of ECE. They're responsible for implementing the service learning course for Year 4 students in the Bachelor of Education program and teach various modules across different programs in the division. Today, they will share their insights on the G Capstone course 3710, Service Learning Through Play for Underprivileged Children, an innovative course which utilizes a play project in collaboration with NGOs and other organizations, allowing students to plan and implement a Play Day project to engage deprived children in the local community. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Dr. Amanda Wu, Ms. Wendy Hong, and Ms. James Lee as they share their valuable experiences and insights. So Dr. Wu, Mr. Lee, and Ms. Hong, please.
Thank you. Now let me share my screen with you. Is that clear? I think you can see it. Yes, thank you. Well, thank you for giving us the chance to share our experience in the course Service Learning for the Underprivileged Children. Let's have a look at the sharing schedule today. In the first part, I will do the introduction of the course, and James will do the knowledge part, Wendy will do the skills part, and we have a very special person to present this, Polly. Polly is the Year 4 student. She will do the presentation by using the PowerPoint voiceover. So you can listen to her voice, but you can't see her actually, but you can see her picture. Then we have the conclusion and the Q&A part. All right, now let's have the introduction of the course, Service Learning Through Play for Underprivileged Children. Well, the ultimate goal is to prepare our students to be global citizens. We have objective 1, to enrich our students' knowledge about core social issues. We have objective 2, to enhance students' ability to plan and implement strategies in future professions to help children from underprivileged families. Well, this program also involves students' empathy and care for children through applied projects. In collaboration with NGOs and other organizations, students will plan and implement the Playday project with activities engaging deprived children in local community. So immediately you will have this in your mind. That is the silo we always take care of. We have 4 silos here. The first one, students are able to analyze the social issues. These issues include poverty, health, and education, and their impact on children's well-being in the contemporary world, and identify issues related to Hong Kong community. Well, they have the knowledge and then they start working, develop and implement community service plans to show care and support for children from underprivileged families. After planning, of course, the next stage is to apply leadership skills, communication skills, teamwork, project skills, and social skills through working with peers and collaborating with different stakeholders. Then the last one, we all have this in our mind, evaluation. Evaluate the outcome and impact of social learning projects for children so as to prepare students for future social services. Now, let's come to the part how they learn through the learning journey. Well, at the very beginning, they have the service learning project proposal. They need to prepare this. And throughout the whole course, they work as a team, so they need to make team reports. And they start their project, that means they have to implement their project. After the implementation, they have to return and do the post-project team presentation. But not only teamwork, they have their individual tasks as well. And we want them to revise and to have good understanding of the knowledge and the theories. So we have in-class quizzes. And to keep them updated, they need to know what's happening. So we have the news commentary. And of course, this part is very important. That is engagement. We are expecting our students to keep high engagement throughout the whole lecture and also the discussion. So we can see at the beginning, our students, they know a little about the underprivileged children, and then they work as a team. With the support and guidance from the lecturer, and finally, they are able to be global citizens. Well, you may want to know what's the knowledge they have. Now I pass the time to James.
Okay, so thanks, Dr. Wu, for the nice presentation. Let me go to the PowerPoint first. Here you go. Okay, so the knowledge part of the sections. So first of all, I guess as you all know, by the end of the day, the goal of service learning is to train our next generation as a switch smart, to give them a taste of the real world by applying their implementation as well as their program learning skills or program planning skills. But for the students in our divisions, they are a little bit different, I would say.
Excuse me, James. It doesn't sound very right to me. Is it that there might be 2 microphones turned on at your side? Because we're hearing echoes, sorry.
Okay, so
okay, better. Thank you, James.
Is it better now? Okay,
yes,
great.
Thank you. Please continue.
Okay, so when did I pause? Okay, yeah. The student in our division. So for the student in our division, I guess it's a little bit different. So for the module, it is placed in the last year of our bachelor program. So in the first 3 years of study, so the student have already gone through more than 500 hours of practice in their practicum. So they got 500 hours of experience in delivering lessons or to practice in a kindergarten. And then they are going to be a charter early child educators in a couple of months. So for most of them, I would say they have already been trained to perform under the spotlight. So for them, in addition to the aforementioned criteria we would like the student to achieve in a service learning program, So for our students, we would like them to find out more, especially by themselves, that the world is not all about me or all about us. There are numbers of like underprivileged out there who are in desperate need of help. So like, as we said all the time, student-oriented learning, right? So we make the target audience as social disadvantaged children and hope that the children could, or our students could apply the knowledge and then to give them a hand. So yes, the student, they may already been trained to implement their teaching plan, but how well do they know about the underprivileged? So in regards to that, so as like previously mentioned by Dr. Wu, so at the start of the module, we would introduce students of like 3 of the most permanent issues facing by the disadvantages, including poverty, health, as well as education. So in aiming to enable our students to be able to get into their shoes to deliver the most efficient like services. Okay, so lastly, before the students start planning and implementing the program, here are the 3 topics questions we would like them to think about. So first of all, like currently, what is the most pressing issues? And then secondly, what are their strengths and talents as well as their weaknesses? And in considering the above 2 questions, what the student could offer to the underprivileged, to our target like audience, target service users. Okay, so let me pass the time to Miss Wendy.
Right, okay, thank you, James. So let me share my screen. Right, okay, so I bet you can all see my deck, like my screen, so which is, so for this part, I will talk about the skills. So before that, I would like to show you for the, for the play day schedule, okay? So this is roughly like a sample for the play day project. So basically for the play day, our students need to conduct it minimum 3 hours to maximum 5 hours. And actually those are the activities we actually suggest them to have. For example, you can see art activities, storytelling, drama, games, and also for the music. So by doing so, actually we would like to preparing them, so make sure that they have all those skills. So throughout the 13 lessons, we have actually 1 lesson, which is specified for the hands-on play skills workshop. So we highlight for the storytelling, drama, art, and also for the songs. And for storytelling and drama, so I have actually 3 photos to show you. So actually in the classroom in BU, we would like to, for example, during our lesson, our workshop, we would like to let our students know, like, for example, what are the famous storybooks nowadays, like using in the kindergarten and also for the junior primary school. So both in Chinese and also for English. And also for our course, because it's for our E4 students. So all of them have the experience doing the practicum in the kindergarten. So we would like to also to enhance them for, you know, to enhance their skills when they're doing the storytelling. It's not just they're reading out the story from the books. So say, for example, for this photo, you can see we would like them to know how to use different materials to do the storytelling, like the wooden spoon, to make some puppets when they're doing the story. And also for art, there are actually 2 photos. So the one down the left here is more for the individual art activity, and the right-hand side will be more the collaborative art activities. So I think for our students now, because again, they have some basic art skills because they have been working in the kindergarten already. So for the individual art activities, they probably have those basic skills. So for us, we would like to enhance them for more, because for the play day, which is a little bit different, which also appear to be the challenge for them, because for play day project, very often is mixed age group. So unlike they're working in the kindergarten, which for example, in a K1 classroom, that will be age 3 to 4, but when they're doing a play day project, very often it's a mixed age group. So it would be nice if they got some ideas to to know how to implement like a collaborative art activity. So from the right left-hand side, you can actually see the marble painting, which they can do it on their own. Whereas on the right-hand side, which is more like a larger version for the marble painting, which they use a tennis ball to do the painting, you know, just not just on their own, but also with their peers. So afterwards, we also have music. So I always encourage our students, they better have something to bring home, which they can share with their family and also remember such a memorable day. So here, just an example to show you, we make sure that they got some skills and ideas how to use different materials to make their musical instruments. For example, like plastic bottle to make a shaker, using the can and balloon to make drums, etc. And after talking all those skills that we preparing them in the classroom, so I would like to show you an example how exactly our students actually using those skills to their Playday project. So this example, actually they have the theme for the environmental protection, and the age group is 4 to 7. So like what I said, is across the kindergartens to the primary school age. And altogether there are 8 of them, and it's a center in Wong Tai Sin. So here will be for the drama, which at first our BU students actually they use a story like a drama type, so to make it like an introduction for the activities later. And actually after the drama, the storytelling, the kids actually come up with the idea that they know that recycling materials can actually use to make toys. And one of the example will be making like a musical shakers. And which bring to the next activity that which is for music, and they make a self-made shaker. So the first photo you can see our BU students actually introducing the materials that they can use during the play day. And then the second photo, actually the children are making their own shakers using the tissue roll with some beans. And at the end, they can actually use the shakers to do some music activities with our BU students. And other thing I would like to highlight is that because the Playday project, like what I said, is a mixed age group, so those photos is very meaningful. You can see like even for the participants, the older kids are actually helping for the younger ones, same as the younger one also learning from the older one. So I think this make it more meaningful, and it's not very easy for our students to see, because very often, like what I said in the kindergarten, you know, they're serving the whole group, which is having the same age group. And lastly, they have the arts, which is a photo frame. So because of their theme as well, so they use different kind of recycling materials to make their photo frame. And this photo actually being taken on that day. So which is, again, you know, very meaningful that they can bring home and show their parents. And also this is a child just showing you, she is writing about her feeling on that day. So that is something they can bring home. And also matching with the theme, they have used the newspaper to do some group games and also some racing games. And again, because newspaper is recycling materials matching the theme. So lastly, I would like to show you the group photo, so which you can see all of them are holding a photo frame as well as the shaker. So the students are also saying the feedback are very good. So not just the children are very happy, but our BU students learned a lot as well. So that is how we prepare our students to have those skills, and then they apply those skills to their Playday project. So I think I have finished my part, and I will pass it on to Amanda.
Thank you, Wendy. Well, we have the knowledge and the skills. Now it comes to attitudes. Our student, Polly, and she is from this group. She is representing the whole group, Year 4 students, to present what they learned during this learning journey.
Hi everyone, I'm Polly. This is my great honor to represent my group to share our learning experience for this course. Firstly, let me introduce the background of our service learning project. Nowadays, there are 17% of primary children were found to be overweight, which clearly highlights children's obesity. As a future kindergarten teacher, this raises our awareness towards the health issue of kindergarten children. Another justification deserving our attention is that overweight prevalence in Hong Kong children reached 19%, which emphasized the issue of kindergarten children obesity. Meanwhile, it is universally acknowledged that children's health is always teachers' first priority. In accordance, our group decided to implement our project with some activities for boosting children's health. Based on the above consideration, we designed 5 activities to fulfill children's needs, including ice-breaking game, healthy ambassador, obstacle race, sport trial class, and poster design. Let me introduce it one by one. For ice-breaking game, there is a ball game which is passing the ball when the music begins, while children who hold the ball when the music stops need to introduce themselves. For the healthy ambassador, there are 3 parts, including playing the video about unhealthy habits, sharing healthy food and eating habits, and design healthy lunch boxes. For obstacle race, there are 4 major parts, including jumping into heavy hula hoops, selecting heavy beanbags, walking the beam with beanbags on the head, and throwing beanbags into basket. For the sport trial class, there are fencing and football classes for children to enjoy different types of sports and master practical skills like hitting, kicking. For design posters, children discuss healthy habits like eating more vegetables and drink more milk. Then they design posters and share how to maintain a healthy life. Based on the above background, we designed the objectives for this service learning project in the direction of knowledge, skills, and attitude. Let me introduce them to you gradually. For knowledge, we aimed to enhance children's competency of identifying and describing healthy eating and exercising habits through 4 activities mentioned below, including healthy ambassador, the obstacle race, sport trial class, and poster design. During the healthy ambassador, children select healthy food for lunch boxes, including meat, rice, eggs, and fruits. During the obstacle race, they collect healthy food picture cards and beanbags. During sports trial class, they learn fencing and football as exercise. When they design posters, they name and drew healthy food like vegetables and fruits. Lastly, they summarize the amount of intaking every type of food. For skills, we target to teach children implementing healthy exercise, including fencing and football. During the sports trial class, they can apply fencing skills like angle, hits, as well as demonstrating football skills like holding the ball with legs, kicking the ball in a straight line, and passing the ball in pairs. For attitude, we stress on motivating children to share healthy habits with friends by fostering psychological and emotional well-being through collaborative activities and group games. When they design healthy posters, they share healthy habits like eating more healthy food with a suitable amount like larger amount of carbohydrate, including rice, noodle, congee, and less amount of sugar, salt, and oil. After sharing designed objectives, I would like to illustrate our changes, especially focused on attitude and value. Firstly, we are more likely to appreciate the NGO effort for supporting children's needs through organizing different activities like piano class, fencing class, tutorial class, and so on, with a relatively lower fee. Since children's needs are larger than social support, some children may lack of support in academic and non-academic aspects. In the future, we are more likely to contribute ourselves to the society with our ability and skills. Besides, we show a higher empathy toward people in need. Since we seldom have the chance to do service learning, it is hard for us to understand others' needs and difficulties. For example, children from poor families cannot attend interest class due to the high tuition fee. So in the future, we will comprehend other needs proactively and provide support if we could do so. Lastly, we respect children with different backgrounds. Since children come from unique family backgrounds, they may have different learning paces. For example, some of them may learn faster while some of them may learn slower. So in the future, we will observe their learning paces and provide individualized support for them based on their learning needs and developmental milestones. This is our reference list. Thank you for listening.
Well, I really have to say thank you to Polly for the PowerPoints with her voice here. Now it comes to the conclusion. We can see the changes of our students, and this is just only one group, through the service learning project. They work as team, so they have teamwork. And during the learning journey, they are provided with various learning opportunities. They learn, reflect, and move on. From the above sharing, I'm sure you agree that the accomplishment in this service learning experience will open the door for the students to continue to participate in other voluntary services in the future. So here comes the Q&A.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wu, Mr. Lee, and Ms. Hong. So it is amazing that we heard directly from the students on how their sense of empathy and civic responsibilities have been significantly enhanced after taking this course. So may we know a little bit more about the NGOs? So since in this course, students would be working with and collaborating with NGOs. So may we know if the students have to identify the organizations that they want to work with by themselves, or is the division helping them on that?
All right. I think I will pass the time to either Wendy or James to help.
Right. Okay. So maybe I start first, and maybe James can add something else later. So basically, this course we encourage our students to found the NGO by themselves. So there's challenge, of course, like especially at the very beginning, they will all come to you, and say like, oh, it's very hard for them to find it. But normally, what we do is we don't give them the answers straight away. We're trying to guide them. So, for example, just go and look around, like for example, some learning centers under your flat, etc. So we do tell them, if you can't find it like after a week, do come to us. So, but I think from my class, they all okay. So what about you, James?
Yes, my class as well. Like surprisingly, because in the last couple of years, because this is like COVID, and then they kind of do things online, like for them it would be like a little bit easier. But for this year, this is the first year they have to, not the first year, but like they have to go back to the real world again, and then they have to connect with the NGOs, and for me, like I guess maybe only one or two group, they just come up to me and said, James, I got difficulty in finding. But like at the end of the day, after I give them some advices, okay, maybe you can connect this kind of NGOs, maybe you can do this, do that. And then like at the end of the day, like every one of the group, they can find their own organization to collaborate, which is something that, yeah, really appreciate it. And giving credit to the student, yeah, they really put some effort in there. And that's really nice.
Yeah, thank you for the hard work of our colleagues. Indeed, sometimes with encouragement and a bit of support and scaffolding, our students would be able to do what we might think that they might not be able to do. So I see Benjamin raised his hand. So hello, Benjamin.
Hello. Oh,
Hello.
yeah, thank you, colleagues, for such an interesting presentation. And I'm sure that a student would find it fun to use the play approach to serve the kids. I have a question, because these students are already taking the early childhood education program. So they have been, I suppose, they have been working with kids for quite some time, because this is their profession. I'm interested to know how does this project expand their learning experience, because it's quite different from the other two projects, like serving the elderly or serving the secondary school, which is totally different from their profession. While this one, they are future kindergarten teachers, and they're supposed to be do good with the kids. So I'm interested to know more about that. Yeah, thank you.
Right. Okay. So thank you very much for a lovely question. It's a very good question, actually. So I think I have no doubt our students actually they got the benefit. You know, they know how to run a class in the classroom. But I think this question is actually also talking about the challenges that they overcome. So just want to bring back to our course title is actually for the underprivileged children. So that is something very different. You know, when they're going to the classroom, you know, very often, for example, one example I can give you is that sometimes our students, they expect the kids, they all know about the iPad. They already know how to use the, you know, the technology, but somehow for those, you know, because of the background as well. So sometimes they don't really get chance to use, you know, those technologies. So those are the things that I always remind them. And if you remember what I showed you just now for the theme, because it's for protecting the environment. So we also want them to, you know, think out of the box. We want them to know that, for example, when you're planning for your activities, there's something you need to pay attention. For example, when they're doing certain kind of activities, they may want to use all the materials, or sometimes they don't really get, you know, financially they cannot support some materials. So using the recycling materials will be something that we would like our students, you know, to implement to that class. So I think the most challenging for them will be that underprivileged children is not something that they always, you know, encounter when they're doing their practicum, even though they're doing like at least 4 times already, because they're year 4 students, they have 4 times for the practicum, but that may not be something usual for them to normally encounter. Is there anything you would like to add?
Yeah, it's just like what Wendy has just said, like or like what I've just said early on, like yes, they may be well trained in how to deliver classes or how to deliver an activity, but how about organizing something for the underprivileged? So like when I go to like a practicum visit, I always got like a student saying, James, like it's kind of hard for me to take care of the like SEN students. James, for this kindergarten, like, you know, it's a bit different from what I have been experienced before. Like, for us, like, we would like to give the student the chance to experience like different types of kindergarten, to do it, or to like work with different like types of students. Like, but sometimes during the practicum, they may not have the chance to do it. But like in this courses, I guess like it just give them the chance to serve and to help the underprivileged. And I guess it benefits for their future career as well.
Yeah, I would like to say something as well, James. Last time when we talk about which group or which groups are the best, you nominate some groups, and finally we have the decision choosing college groups. And shall I share our discussion here last time? Yeah. We checked with students about some of their challenges they faced. One of the big things should be where to find the targets to serve. And so they need to approach the NGO. And thank you to James and Wendy, they just stand by, stay aside, encourage them, not immediately help them. They need to find some way to solve their problem. Like Polly's group, they try to find some members in the group, whether they can help. And they also making something like SAFE as step 2. They approach the lecturer to see, in case if we can't find any target group, can you help? And of course, we are very positive, but we encourage them to try. Then finally, one group, one member, Celia, you can see in the photo just before, and she's working as the trainer for fencing in the NGO. And she finally got the consent from the NGO. And so that's why they can do the surface there. So from their experience, they told me that they learned what? They learned from making impossible to possible. So that's the things they learned. Thank you, teachers. Thank you, my colleagues.
Thank you, Dr. Wu, and thank you, Ms. Hong, Mr. James, sorry, Mr. Lee. And Okay, seeing the time, I think we have one last question from Jillian. Jillian is wondering if we have any non-major students taking this course. Not from my understanding, right? Dr. Wu, could you please share a bit with us?
We have all the year 4 students taking this course, and they are the final year student. And we have many courses that we have to say they are very helpful for our final year students. And one of the courses should be this one. Yeah. So we don't have the concept like major or not major. It is a must that they need to take this course. Yeah. Thank you for the question.
Yeah, the GE capstone course is for our year 4 students in the PED program in ECE of SCE. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Frank.
Yes, thank you very much. So, okay, and therefore, any more questions from the audience in general? All right, then, like if you have no questions, then please allow me to conclude the seminar. So to start with, thank you very much to Dr. Cook, Dr. Low, Dr. Wu, Mr. Lee, and Ms. Hong for sharing with us in this seminar. We're confident that their insights and practical guidance have provided invaluable insights to those who are interested in incorporating service learning into their courses. And thank you very much for all our participants today. Your active participation and engagement during the seminar have not only contributed to the success of this event, but have and will also help promote the ongoing development of service learning initiatives across our university. So once again, thank you to all our esteemed speakers, and please scan the QR code to share your valuable comment with us through the evaluation survey. You may also find the hyperlink in the chat box. Thank you very much.
Hello, Frank. Will you allow me to show one more slide on behalf of my team and also my students?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for giving us the chance. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. So if there's no more questions for our speakers, then I would say our seminar concluded here and end today. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing and keeping in touch with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
So much. Bye-bye.